Hello, good afternoon, and happy Saturday. Just had a couple of deliveries from eBay. The replacement nuts have arrived, but I'm worried about the size of that flange. The stainless steel rather than the coloured anodised alloy option. I always thought alloy nuts are not liable to crack, but if they sell them, they must be alright. But I thought, no, I'll get stainless ones. Look at them flanges, can you see that flange? I was an ugly baby. When I was a baby, my dummy had a 12-inch flange. And, well, I'm going to get my breaker bar, take a sample nut off, see if it'll fit on, and if not, I should send them back really, because it says suitable for Hornet 900 if they don't fit, but they might fit. I'll have to see one. And also, how do we manage before eBay? I keep saying this. The other week, one of them cracked the old plastic knobs on my old cooker. As I keep saying, this was my grandma's house from wartime until 2006. Then I bought it at Christmas and moved in. And that's her old cooker. This is her old kitchen. That's her old fridge. The kitchen units are falling to bits. And they just crumbled. Oh, bloody hell, all that turning over years. Should I get a new cooker? 200-300 quid. I'll just see on eBay. Under there, 6 of these knobs for less than £6, including post, free post. And the seller is in Singapore, although it said UK, but I was worried in case he wouldn't arrive, but here they are, they've arrived. Although, because they're all exactly the same, the oven one has a safety feature where you have to push it in and turn it. So I thought if I pack one out with something, and I've just been looking in my drawers, for something suitable, and I thought I'll pack it with tin foil and the end of a screwdriver. Although it should be flat, shouldn't it, not pointy. Flat one. That'll do it, won't it? Just to pack it down so it's not a point. I'll probably need about 5mm. Yeah, the others are all flats. And I just had a quick go with some sandpaper, well, glass paper. I'm going to rub all this down and either polish it up or leave it brushed. Get a brushed effect with a little bristled brush. Right, Blackie. You've just been being cuddled, haven't you, my woolly jump? Yeah. Goodbye. Right, I'll get on with this and then I'll go in the backyard and do a sample nut. I just hope, really I could do with heating the bloody nuts up to make them easier to come off. Because there's one, isn't there? I should have marked that one where the stud came out. Although I have used that super strong thread locker. Faffing about. I used to have some of these these gas clickers. Just a normal flame. And I once had some that produced a jet. It said jet power. They were at the same price, 99p from the local cheapo shop. And I've asked, what? I said, a little jet power one. No, I said, yes, little blue flame. And you could just, buy 3 of them. You're meant to be able to refill these, but everyone I've tried, when I got a can of, filler, didn't work, so I had to throw them away. But a little jet power, you could heat the nuts up for 30 seconds and then release it. Unless I buy a little bloody blow lamp. You can't get the heat off of that little weedy flame, can you? That doesn't produce much heat. Anyway, yes, I'll finish this knob off. And then have a go with the nuts. Knob and nuts. Oh, Mavis, ooh! Well, as you can see, I've done the first one and there's plenty of room. I suspected as much. No, I doubted it'd fit. I thought, oh, that's a big flange. But actually the nut is smaller. These old ones are 19mm and the new ones are 18, so it's because it's reduced the nut, it makes the flange look a bit bigger, doesn't it? Alright, I'll carry on. They're a lot looser than I expected, but I mean I did torque them up. I loosened that one earlier, but I mean they're only looser because they've been welded on with guns over the past 3 years since the last change. And I did torque them up to 80 with my torque wrench, but someone said, oh, you might have thrown the caliber out. Calibration. Well, I didn't use my torque wrench to undo these, I used my new breaker bar, didn't I? Unless we're just giving me friendly advice never to use it, I don't know what they were saying. Yes, thank you very much for your advice. Like I said, I'm worried about coming to that really stiff one. Where's my extension? I should have put that on, shouldn't I? So I won't be tying it up. I'll carry on, I'm steaming up. If I get any trouble, I'll let you know. Actually, on the way to work this week, I heard a funny vibrating buzzing noise. And one of them was loose bolt holding the belly pan on. Oh, good, sorted. Set off again the day after, and it was still vibrating. So I'll take this cover off just to double check that nut. Alan Bolter said, you do need a special washer on. I said, well, Honda, that's a Honda fitment, it hasn't got a bent washer. So Honda must have sussed out it doesn't require one. But what's buzzing? It could be anything with all this junk on. I even thought, my charging oil might be rubbing on something. It could be anything, couldn't it? It was still running fine though. But how do you trace a rattle? You tap everything. Like they used to in the olden days with steam trains, your wheel tappers. Just tap everything, and if it makes a dodgy noise, you know you've found something loose or dodgy. I'll tap it with a little spanner all over. But what would make a rattle? I don't know. I thought getting some more levers, getting a bit past it. Is that wire on the bush? Only alloy, aren't they? Probably isn't even a bush in. Well, that was a coincidence. I did 4 and I thought they've all come off easy. Don't say number 5 is the bloody stubborn one that undid the stud last Saturday. And it was, but fortunately the back wheel moved, meaning it was taking lots of torque, and I thought, oh, don't say the stud's come undone, but thankfully that Permalock stuff must be good at its job because it stayed put. The mangled nut has come off. Can't bloody say to that. I didn't do all that last week, that's old mangling. So I think someone struggled with that in the past. I hope the threads aren't knackered. Oh no. So I can't see anything. If someone's been bashing it. Oh no, it's fine. Panicking for nothing. I just haven't engaged it correctly. So there we are, all 5 nuts replaced with nice new stainless ones. They were £13 something, by the way. And it is going to go on properly, isn't it? Like I said, I'll get my torque wrench on them and set them properly after I've had another brew. I was thinking of going down to Curry's. One of my cheap Aldi bloody dehumidifiers he decided to pack up. I could smell, that electric burning smell. And it was going, I thought I'll pull the plug out and have a look. And it was welded in, and I got some pliers, pulled it out, and you know, like, it's the old 2-pin socket and plug. It pulled the gubbins out of the dehumidifier. Right, Blackie, are you helping? So I've thrown the dehumidifier in the bin. It was full of fluff anyway, and I've kept the 12 volt thingy. I use the wiring on them because there's about 6 feet of twin cable. I reuse the wiring for, in fact I put an extension on this Tarzan arm. When I moved it here there wasn't enough wire, and now there's about 2 feet spare under there. I was thinking of repositioning that behind the fur in here, but would there be room? I was looking last night on eBay at these horns. I thought I'd get a different horn, and there's a smaller one and a much bigger one, 100 watts. But I thought, would that burn out the little black box control unit? Probably, if that's regulated for this one, which is 20 watts. Fits a huge speaker, and I imagine it burning out again. It's loud enough anyway. Yeah. That's just the power button. Oh yes, and Bandit Nev. When I was looking at all these, like, I said to someone, oh, I'd like one of them, someone said. And I said, no, you can't get them now. You can get sirens, and a different style of horn even has a PA on. The 100 watt has a PA on for about 50 quid. And in Australia, you can just get that as a Tarzan horn. And there was no other control, it was just a built-in chip giving the Tarzan horn. Sorry, not Tarzan, the wolf whistle, I'm very sorry, wolf whistle. On its own, and when it's powered up, it gives a continuous wolf whistle. So you have to fit a switch like that, and then when you switch it on, it's a permanent, and then switch it off. So Bandit Nev, Australian eBay, you can get a wolf whistle. Why not fit one to your new Bandit? Right, yeah, I'm going to take this off, check, see if it's still tight, and then go to Curry's and see if they have another of them cheap dehumidifiers. Well, I think I've found the rattle. The front sprocket and nut was fine, but did I tell you, I was telling Derek's Kawasaki Z1000, he said, you think you've adjusted the chain correctly, and when you tighten your nut back up, it sags again. It must, when it grips, it must move minutely. And when I looked, the chain was rubbing on the centre stand. Can you see? Let's take my glasses off again. There. I mean, it seems slightly too tight now, but any slacker and it's rubbed a groove in that metal. It's very greasy, you probably can't see, but there. Where's the rubber? It's a rubber stay. I wonder if that's worn. There's a 15mm gap there now, but it was rubbing, so that would have made a noise. And in fact, I told the mate at work, as that rattle stopped, I said, well, I put a load of grease on my chain, and it seems like it stopped or quieter. So that would, all that grease would have made it quieter, wouldn't it, and stopped the rattle temporarily. But bloody hell, if that's been wearing on metal, it would have rubbed the side of the chain away eventually, wouldn't it? Any damage? No. You can see that nut, can't you? That's a 2mm thick nut. Sorry, get my words mixed up again. The washer is 2mm thick. And no way you'd bend that. So Honda must have sussed away. They're all different, aren't they? Different manufacturers will have thought of different ways. Some have a bloody bent washer. But this Honda obviously doesn't need one. It's a big chunky washer. And it's as tight as hell. That hasn't loosened up at all. So I tore that up. That was £40 a square inch. Anyway, only one way to test it. A test ride down to Curry's. I've not had a shower yet. It's worth bothering. Nah, it's Saturday, innit? I'll have a shower tomorrow. This was on earlier. That new Henry Cole and Sam Lovegrove. And look at that, what's that? Is it one of Alan Milliard's creations? I just rewound it. Double deluxe, what's on about? Was that a production bike? A twin engined, 4-cylinder Sunbeam. There's some crackpot engineer. Melded two engines together. Amazing. I like Sunbeams. I like a lot of old British bikes. But I like Alan Milliard's creativity. I mean, look at the tank. The tank's been lengthened, hasn't it? I don't like all this faffing about with bloody old oil cans and stuff, but when you have a bike, or two, it's worth watching. We only got a Triumph sign, and the mate restored it, but hand painted it, and when he just brought back the glass, and then when they fitted it and switched it on, you can see all brush marks in the blue paint. He said, oh dear, we'll send it back to him and tell him to give it a few more coats. But they didn't hand paint them back in the 50s, did they? Anyway, time to get the bike out. Can you my indicator bleeper? I've always thought it's a bit feeble, so while I was looking on eBay last night, I sent to China. Even though it was an English chap's name, I sent to China for a couple more. It says 120 decibel, we'll see, won't we? Only £1 something with a pound post. How did we manage before eBay? Troll around all the shops looking for stuff and being disappointed. I mean, look at them cooker knobs. Where'd you get them from? You charge a bloody fortune by Belling or something, wouldn't you, if you went to a cooker shop? Anyway, yes, Curry's. The reason I need a new dehumidifier, I had a lot of trouble about 5 years ago. All my entire bedroom wall come out in black mould. It was just soaking wet. And I thought there was something terribly wrong. And a chap come and said, no, it's you haven't got central heating, have you? He said, what do you do to get hot water? I said, well, I either immersion heater or I boil 2 pans of water every morning to go to work. He said, oh, well. And he said, what's that wreck? I said, yeah, my wet clothing from the washing machine gets hung up on the rack. Turn the gas fire on. Oh, he said, that's where all the water, the moisture's coming from. He said, you can either leave your window open when you go to work, although in winter your bedclothes will be all cold and damp anyway, or get a decent dehumidifier. So I got them from Aldi, and it turned out to be bloody rubbish. So they do a budget one, a proper big one, rather than the little crappy ones from Aldi, which were £34. So I thought I might as well get a decent one, which is what I did last year. In fact, I wondered, should I put a new one, if I get one today, upstairs and bring the crappy Aldi ones I got downstairs. We shall see. I can always swap them about if I start getting lots of moisture in my bedroom. When I wake up, all my windows are steamed up. I must breathe a lot heavier at night or something. I must have nightmares in my sleep. I had a terrible dream last night. I dreamt that a chap was stuffing giant marshmallows down my throat, and when I woke up, my pillow was gone. It's Tommy Cooper. So will curries be packed? I wondered whether to call into Philip Yule's because I've got an invite, although I think it's only computer generated, it's not a personal invite. This coming week there's a launch event at 7 o'clock at his shop to launch a new Triumph. But there's even a message on my mobile. I thought, well, is it all computer generated or is it just, you know, to get you there and put a deposit on an 11 grand bike? Which I won't be doing. I'll have to say, give us a job there and I'll be there anyway, won't I? It'll be dark in another hour. It's not that cold. In fact, I have that red 4XL fleece on under my bike jacket, under this fluorescent jacket. It's my work commute jacket, this. I think I'll wear it all winter and stick my blue one aside ready for next summer. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm wearing this red one again because the furry one, like I said, it's so thick I can't close the neck flap. It's a need to do in winter. So it's not like I'm wasting my money. Them furry ones will come in handy. I'll sleep in them when it's really cold. The budget range at Curry's is called Essentials, so I'll have a look. I'll tell them I got one this time last year. And what I did last year, the price in the store was 110, and if you order one online for collection it was 10 quid less, so with that 10 quid I phoned a taxi. So, you know, essentially you weren't spending any extra money on a taxi. And I thought of doing the same again, but something's changed. It didn't mention about the discount online, so I'll negotiate in the store. I'll say, if I'm not getting 10 quid off, if it's 110, I'll say if I'm not getting 10 quid off, I'll not bother buying it. I'll go elsewhere. I'll go to Euronics in Clitheroe. They have dehumidifiers. Or I'll say that just to see if they'll be flexible with the price. You have to haggle, don't you? You have to haggle. You have to haggle. Bloody hell, I just think. Well, that rattle's gone, so it must have been the chain after all. Like I said, it might be a little bit tight now, but look alright behind. You say allow 30 mil, don't you? And there is roughly 30 mil up and down, but you can't have it rubbing on the bloody centre stand. Oh, bikers, that BMW. Yeah, I don't think that belt's doing much, Albert. They call them Sam Brown belt. While his wife on the back's wearing all black with a black helmet. Silly sod. I was just shouting at him and saying, get out of these, Albert, get out of these. Look, you see from behind, just a feeble little light. Got a single bulb on a big bike, and I've got a twin bulb set up. Sam Brown. Sam Brown, that's Joe Brown's daughter. When I went to that concert for George in 2002, she was jumping up and down on stage singing one of his songs. Everyone had two of George Harrison's songs to sing, you know, as a tribute. Oh man, oh man, let's beat that bike away from the lights. Never dropped a tooth. I could leave that in a cloud of dust quite easily if I wanted to. It smelled wacky backy as well, what a surprise. Oh, that's the wrong turning, isn't it, silly sod. I'll have to turn round and the old rocket sensor turn off. Oh, I got wrong green. I'll allowed to do U-turns here. Doesn't say no U-turns, does it? Oops. Curries in there. So, new nuts. What else can possibly wear out? As I said before, my only concern now is the starter motor because it's in such a difficult place to get to. Well, the mounting bolts are. Terrible position. When I'm in night talk, I'm mending my starter motor. I change the brushes and they ground away again. And when I look, the commutator bars on the actual spindle were all bumpy. So I made a lathe out of a drill. Put the actual unit with the bumpy bars in a drill, span it round like a lathe, touched a file on it which didn't do a great deal. So I got some glass paper on there, just held it, rubbed it up and down and all the little bits of copper came off. And it was as smooth as a baby's bum. Then I got some more brushes, changed them again and it was fine. It just shows, doesn't it? Do it yourself, save a fortune. But I'll just show you this one. Is it the airbox in the way? It's all this, isn't it? Airbox is there, where the mounting bolts are for that. It's crazy. So look at my new bolts, new nuts. New nuts, all tightened up. Chain not rubbing. Right, let's have a look inside. Right, well, just got the dehumidifier and room for a taxi. I wanted to go there, the little, oh, can you see? That little orange Lotus just pulled up with a lad and a blonde got out. It looked like a little bloody kid's 12-volt car. It's so tiny. What model is that? Little tiny Lotus. I was talking to Sally Tomset again on Twitter. Oh, yeah, indicate Albert. Last minute. And Sally Tomset said she'd owned loads of Lotuses in the 70s. Including the James Bond Esprit car. I said, oh, you should have been a Bond girl, weren't you ever asked? She said, no, I always thought I looked too young. And I was going to make a comment about Britt Eklund because she was in The Man from the Golden Gun. She wasn't too young, although that must be the worst James Bond film ever. Scaramanga. Christopher Lee. That was another stinker though. What was he called? Christopher Walken, is it? An airship, a baddie with an airship. And Grace Jones was in that one. This is my Alan Partridge moment where I rattle off all the details from the James Bond films. I put my washing machine on this morning and there's a smoke alarm above and it kept going off. So I changed the battery and it went off again, even though there was no smoke. And last weekend, the carbon monoxide detector, which I bought at the same time, that kept going off as well. And when I looked, it said change by January 2015. So they must stop working after a while and you have to replace them. Something must wear out and the alarm goes on all the time. Where's that siren coming from? Oh, ambulance. Are you going to stop, Albert? Yeah, that's good. Should I try and catch the taxi driver up? I'm sure he's not disappeared with my appliance. Can you see that acceleration speeded up? It goes like shit off a hot shovel now. Of course the top speed will be slightly down, but this is just how it should be. A 900cc Fireblade engine. That's not the taxi, it was white, wasn't it? He's done a runner with me dehumidifier. Yeah, I got terrible trouble with damp. I wondered should I go down to Aldi and see if they have a replacement smoke. It's only the washing machine smoke alarm. I've not got one of them dryers. What about all them bloody dryers that's been setting on fire and they've recalled hundreds of thousands of them? And then you try to blame the actual users, you know, the customers, saying, oh, the build up of fluff, if your fluff has blocked up the ventilation, then of course it will catch fire. You want to clean the fluff out of your filter, which actually might be sensible. You should always move all your fluff from your filter, shouldn't you? And yet it's cost them bloody millions. I don't know which company it was. So I didn't bother. I was going to get a dryer and then I thought, well, I'll keep me rack. I'm going to rip that old rack down I have on the rope and pulleys and get a dryer, but I never did. How much would a good dryer is about 200 quid. What I was going to do was put a shelf up out of 3x2, strong shelf, and put the dryer on top, you know, over the top of the washing machine. I never got round to buying one. Hang on, Albert. That taxi. Come back with my dehumidifier. Come back. Stop thief. I'm going to put my lights on, but my rear lights are on with the position light. I was going to ask that. I got them little Aldi bicycle lights. Because, I mean, when I'm in 125 Super Dream, you could park your bike up and leave it on P for parking. Although it's a P for position lights. I mean, to me, P for parking, you used to switch it and it left the front little 5 watt on when you pulled the key out. Ah, yes, good idea. in case some silly sod runs into your bike when you're on a dark lane or calling at the paper shop in the morning. So I thought, is this model unusual in not having hazard lights? Lots of bikes have hazard lights. My CB1300 had hazards on. If anything happens, put your hazards on. And I once needed them when I run out of bloody fuel on the motorway and I couldn't reach the reserve tap. I had to put my hazards on and look in the mirror, then pull over. But this bike hasn't got hazards, and when you park it up, it's bloody invisible because you can't leave any lights on. Why? And does your bike have that facility? I'd like to know. I think all bikes should have. Because, you know, unlit roads, park a bike up, some silly sod sticking to the gutter, catches your handlebars and wallop, your bike's bouncing up into the air, and it's smashed and written off. So that's why I bought them little red battery powered lights to stick on the back and leave them on for when it's parked up temporarily outside a Chinese, for example. That's a dark street. Or maybe. I've got a baked spud for my evening meal. My mum got it me. I keep telling her not to go shopping, save her money and don't go out in the cold. Both still got colds, I can't get shut of mine. And she's been out, 2 spuds, prawns and some sauce for me. So I'm doing my own shop. I said, I'll do your shopping when I come home from work. No, you're tired? I said, yes. I'm not past it yet, she said. 81 and she's still driving a car to Tesco and shuffling around the shelves. Right, well, dehumidifier on. It stops my bedroom getting full of black mould. I could have picked bloody mushrooms off my bedroom wall. Were that bad. But I repapered it and it's fine now. Well, I just got back from Aldi. That's the old smoke alarm, and they don't bloody sell new ones, do they? This time of year, when people are lighting candles for Christmas and things, and bloody bonfire night, you think they'd sell smoke alarms, but I suppose it matters. I could always move another one into the utility room if I'm concerned that my washing machine's going to catch fire. I was thinking them baked spuds, instead of putting prawns on as usual, I'll save the prawns for an omelette tomorrow. And I saw some chicken curry. These are biscuits. Have you noticed they're all subtle copies? Can't believe it's not butter, beautifully buttery. I got some cheap chicken for you lot. Half price because it said used by 16. Some cheap chicken. When I was putting them knobs on earlier, it's dry now, that thread lock, Permalock. So I'm very pleased with them. Less than £6 for 6. Free post. Chicken curry. And I've also got some Rogan Josh just to put on the side and see how that is. More vitamin C. Max strength cold and flu. Although I've got some of that, because that was on special offer. Irish cream, 17%. A copy of Bailey's, 70cl. It's not a litre, but that's good quality stuff rather than the Ballycastle. In the best traditions of Keith Floyd, when I'm cooking my tea, I've taken a few glugs of that, purely medicinal. Evaporated milk for my coffee and tea. Nothing beats a nice cream tea. Raw chocolate digestive, so let's see what they're like. More vitamin C. Ginger nuts, that's meant to be good for colds. Ginger, if it contains any ginger. More cheap chicken to put away. That'll last all week. I don't think cats will get rough guts, will they? And roller dreamies. Some roller dreamies. You're not quite same, are you, Bobby? Go and catch that mousey. I could hear it, bloody scratching. There's definitely a mouse here. I can see some crap. Unless it's a giant rat. And I was throwing some plastic doofers behind the fridge to try and scare it off. And it just stopped scratching, then carried on. It did a stop and carry on. Right, Bobby, I love dreamies, don't you? See what you think of these? I think he tucks in and then says, hey, these aren't proper ones. You're not daft, are you, Bobby? Some fishy ones. I'm going to put fishy ones. Some fishy ones, Ginger. Yeah. Spoiled, aren't you? Where's Blackie? Alright, so thank you for watching. I'll entitle this Nuts and Knobs or Knobs and Nuts. That's it, I didn't get one of them last time. I must have thrown it away and not noticed, unless it's just been added. A drain pipe, if you want to join it permanently to a drain, i.e. put a shelf up in the utility room and put it down the drain of where the washing machine drains out and have it permanently dribbling in. Because my only criticism of this cheap or relatively cheap one is that it's full up, 1.8 litre, it's full up in a day and a half because of all the bloody moisture in my house. Probably comes with having a back door open in and out for me bike jobs. But hopefully everything's sorted now. Thank you for watching. Oh, Derek was asking about these horns. They're called snail horns. I mentioned it to him, but I said they're only $9.99, but they only seem to have red, black and chrome, no blue ones. Seeing as I think he's got the blue bug like me. You can always put blue stickers on like I have. I got some of these off eBay. Little hexagons and some circles and strips. I've hardly used any. Oh, that's instructions for the washing machine. Yeah, if you want some of them, Derek, let me know. You can have... I'll cut that off and you can have them if you need some. If there's any chance of rubbing the paint off. In fact, if you're going to tackle... Oh no, I'm going to say them scuffs on these side boxes. Rather than go to the expense of a respray or whatever, just stick a load of them on. You know, close them up so there's no gaps. Or just put stickers on saying what's, you know, what model it is. You can have custom stickers made, like I said, from the Image Works in Nottingham. They advertise on in Motorcycle News, although they ignored me when I had them making that template. They didn't get in touch, so I thought, sod 'em. So I stuck with my homemade ones from these lunch boxes. That's why I've got 2 spare. Enough waffling. I'm knackered. I didn't have anything to eat yesterday after work. I just felt rough because my cold's come back. Unless it's the same one. Bye for now. Some spuds like. My mum buys them and then I said, how old are them spuds? This seems to have sprouts on. What's that? I was just thinking, if you're wondering what I mean by a rack, I don't mean a rack. I mean that. It's an old Victorian thing, cast iron, like coat hanger thing. You put slats of wood through and hoist your damp clothes up to the ceiling where all the warm air gathers. And the idea is the fire. In the old days it'd be the coal fire. Now it's my old gas fire. And the hot air rises and dries your clothes as well as warming the room. And when I moved in, like I said, I was going to rip all that out and get a dryer, but Mum said, no, you'll appreciate that, but it just, when you're loaded up with clothes, it just gets in the way. I do 2 lots of washing on a Saturday, and then hoist it all up, and it's dry by Monday morning. Don't need a fire on it, it's not that cold. That new dehumidifier there warms the room up as well. Just slightly warm. Yeah, marvellous then. I put it on my credit card, $99.99, but it was needy because that corner's a bit damp. In fact, it's a lot damp. Because next door doesn't have a lean-to kitchen, so that corner on the other side of the wall is a bloody bare wall. Yes, I'm just passing time while my spuds are baking. That was a bargain from the charity shop, a little viewer that scrolls through your SD card photographs. Although, I stretched that one a bit on it, my old X4. I keep looking at second-hand bikes on eBay. I kept fantasising about the X11 and someone said no, it's actually a very cramped riding position, so if you're 6'7" and 20 stone, you won't be able to even sit comfortably. I said, oh dear, you shattered my dream, that's my dream bike. I suppose it's like everyone, we all fantasise, don't we? If you didn't have the bike you have, what bike would you have as second best? I like that NC 750 that Ainsworth rider has, a lovely bike. Sounds like a sewing machine, but 750, you're a twin. I'll have a bit of oomph on it. Sewing machine. And on that note, I'll say goodbye.